what the heck got into these guys? The Utah Mammoth just ripped off a 7-0 smashing of the Anaheim Ducks in Orange County. What went right for the Mammoth? There was a lot of accountability beforehand, a lot of things said about this team, by this team, and in the end, they win by a touchdown and an extra point in a hockey game. We're going to talk about all that and more on SLC Puck. So cue the music. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck. We've got to be really quiet right now. It is 11:22 p.m. on Wednesday evening, the 3rd of December. This might be the latest that we've recorded an episode night of, although maybe we've had a couple of these. But as we must do, so that you guys don't lose your minds, you know, when you don't have your precious little episode of SLC Puck waiting for you in your favorite podcast player or on YouTube. Thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe wherever you can. We're recording this now, just minutes after. I guess it's been a few minutes since the Utah Mammoth's shocking 7-0 victory over the Anaheim Ducks near the House of Mouse on Catella Avenue. I know a lot about Anaheim, by the way. I could tell you, I could walk around Anaheim with my eyes closed. I lived there for 3 years. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to take the sunglasses off because I'm not in Anaheim. Hi, I'm your host, Austin Facer, coming at you from the SLC Puck Basement Studios. We're Utah's favorite hockey podcast. We're proud to be that, and we appreciate you for joining with us. Probably this morning, I would imagine, unless you're a kook and you've been waiting all night for me to upload this podcast, which I'm sure there are a couple of you, and we appreciate you very much. If you're one of those kooks, chances are you'll be at our watch party on December 17th at a bar named Sue on Highland Drive. It's Pucksmas. It's SLC Pucksmas. There's going to be all kinds of holiday fun at the party. You won't want to miss it. We've got holiday fun happening in the studio. You might see behind me, we've got some we've decked the halls a little bit. We've got some nice Christmas adornments. The one I'm most proud of, and the one my mother is most proud of as well, is the SLC Puck Christmas tree behind me. I need to get the lights going on that, but it has all these fun ornaments that my mother has been slaving away over her 3D printer to put together. So we're going to give away a bunch of those at the watch party. So make sure you're there at a bar named Sue on the 17th to check that out. More info at slcpuck.com. But hey, enough of that. There's a lot to talk about tonight. It's kind of interesting, I think. The result of tonight's game is so stunning. It's so far from what we've come to expect, sadly, from this team over the last month. I'm kind of like a little off balance right now. I think maybe that's a little bit of fatigue setting in at the end of the day. I worked a long day, and I was taking copious notes during the game on slcpuck.com, doing a little brain dump as we were going. So if you want to get the experience of what it's like to sit next to me and watch a hockey game, reading the brain dump is probably as close to that as you'll get, and it's a blast, let me tell you. This game, though, was incredible. It was amazing. It was it could not have been more well scripted for the Utah Mammoth. They're on national television. They're coming off of a bad loss to San Jose the other night, a 6-3 loss, where head coach Andre Tourigny's hot seat had never been hotter, and he knew it, he felt it, and he made some big statements after the game. He said, listen, this one's on me. I didn't get the team ready. We're going to be ready to go next game. There's going to be a lot of accountability top to bottom from everybody, from me, from the rest of the coaching staff, from the players. Everybody's going to be accountable. We got to turn the page on an NHL worse November. And it was kind of interesting. We're it was so funny to sort of see Andre Tourigny make these remarks. And then when someone in the media asked him, I think it might have been Sarah Merrifield actually, he said, what does accountability look like? He just said simply, you'll see. And I was like, those are famous last words. I bet. Are you going to be the coach after this road trip? That's meme worthy material. It's still on the table a little bit. I think he's going to be up for review when the team gets back. There's been a lot of calls for Tourigny's head. Heads will roll. People wanted to, and his head would roll really well. And I say that as a compliment, like it's because it's bald. It looks like has like a good roll to it. I don't think it's not that. It looks like a basketball kind of, right? You could imagine a bowling ball, really. This thing would be going, ears over ears, all the way down the bowling alley. But people have been wanting that to happen. But, it's kind of, I felt that too myself. I won't lie. I'm like, they need to pull the plug on this guy. They need to figure out how to salvage the rest of the season. They can't go down this slippery slope. They're going to take themselves out of the playoff race by the start of the new year if they don't turn things around. But it was interesting to kind of get a better grasp on how coaching changes happen in the National Hockey League by listening to some of the national pundits and reading some stuff. We're all still learning kind of the ins and outs and the unspoken rules and little nuances of the game here in Utah. And the national guys are like, he's not going to get fired in the middle of a road trip. That's just bad form. It's bad taste. It's considered impolite. And, being run by a bunch of Canadians, politeness is very important in this sport, believe it or not. And they want to, and this is an organization that's very conscious of the way they're portraying themselves to the rest of the National Hockey League, not only to the players. So many examples of this, they've thrown open the doors to the practice facility that they built in Sandy for opposing teams to see. They probably think that's a good recruiting tool for some valuable pieces down the line. But they also really want to impress Gary Bettman, I would imagine, and the rest of the ownership groups around the National Hockey League and the decision makers, and doing something in bad form sending Andre Tourigny home on the tarmac like he's a college football coach would not be would probably raise some eyebrows. So, that wouldn't happen. But I do think, Andre Tourigny is not quite out of the woods yet. But this was a freaking astounding game. We did see what accountability looks like from this team. Andre Tourigny's remarks were manifested in some healthy scratches going in this one. The most notable ones were Barrett Hayton and Brandon Tanev. And you might see that and go, what the heck? Like, these guys are going to take a seat in the press box and they're going to address Liam O'Brien, Kyler Yamamoto, and the dog. I have my executive producer, my mother, looking for the dogs, and the dogs are right below me. I'm just going to, here you go. Hey, everybody, let's hold on. Here's Mick. We've got Mick here, everybody. Mick wants to say hi. Hi, Mick. There you go. On your way. Very distracting. Mick, we're trying to create hockey content, and we're doing it very seriously. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So people might see that and they go, okay, these guys are proven commodities in the NHL. Like Brandon Tanev, people were really excited about that signing in the off season, probably mostly because of his headshot, but also they thought this guy's a big guy, a big bruiser. He leads the team in hits. They need a physical presence, especially in the forward group. Why sit this guy, and why sit Barrett Hayton, who's been their second center and sometimes their first center at times during the season and over the last few years with the hockey club and the Coyotes. And it's interesting to kind of see some data that would probably point in the direction of some answers to these questions, like why sit these guys. I want to put you guys onto some game. I'm sure a lot of you hockey heads are probably aware of this website, but Hockey Stat Cards occupied a lot of my attention today. Don't tell anybody at work that. But I was looking at at this website. It has a very fascinating formula to calculate a game score, which breaks down a player's offensive and defensive positive and negative contributions in a game. There's also a rating that's player rating as well. Lots of math stuff went into this. I read up on it a little bit. I'm not going to bore you how this comes together. I can tell you though that the guys who created this formula are legit. They're national hockey writers for The Athletic. So take that at my word that this kind of paints a really great picture. And we can even see it in this game against Anaheim, right? The game score breakdown, JJ Peterka played a phenomenal game. That was evident all over the box score, all over the ice tonight. He had 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. I believe it's the second 4-point game of his career. So he very clearly had a lot of positive offensive contributions, individual offensive contributions. Clayton Keller had a 3-point outing as well. So, all these calculations factor in that. Almost nobody in the negatives. Jack McBain's defense draws a negative. Kevin Stenlund's offense draws a negative. But for the most part, everybody is above that dotted line when it comes to positive contribution. Ian Cole had a terrific snipe to score a goal for the Utah Mammoth tonight. I'm like, where did that come from? Like this just absolute laser beam, like short side, right over the blocker high to score on Anaheim.
Hurt in a car wreck, dog bite, slip and fall. Just call Quick Swap. One call, that's all.
After a car wreck, dealing with big insurance companies on your own can hurt your case. One call, that's all means we take care of everything. From dealing with insurance companies to helping you find doctors and repair shops, we're here to guide you from start to finish. Call Craig Swap and Associates today at 801-444-4444.
One call, that's all.
It was a great game. And again, we can get a lot more data by looking at this website. And I think it kind of paints a picture. I would imagine this is something that the decision makers for the Utah Mammoth are looking at when they, are making their decisions and, trying to assess the lineups and see what works. If it were me, I would be plugging things into like NHL 25 and making calculations this way. But you go here to the leaderboards, and again, if you want to learn more about game score, this article by Dom, one of the guys who put this together, works for The Athletic, is right here. But again, has all these calculations. I found some of this stuff to be really interesting. You go here, Nate Schmidt actually had one of the best games of any NHL player this season on the 25th of October. Who did they play in that one? I don't have a single Nate Schmidt memory from October 25th. Let's see who they played on that day. That was at Minnesota. That was part of spooky season. I do believe the Mammoth won that game, but that was one of the best games an NHL player has had this season, which I found fascinating. We'll have to go back and check that out and try to remember better why that's the case. But you go here, you drill down, and you go to your game score. Actually, let's go to player ratings here. And it breaks down here in this article, fan stats, offensive, defensive rating. I would imagine it works a lot the same way as offensive, defensive rating in basketball. But let's go back here. Let's go to the Mammoth. Come on, run it. Run it. See, that's how you know this is an authentic podcast, guys. And this is how you know that I'm like not going to do a second take. We have dogs coming in. We have computer, issues here. Hopefully we don't have recording issues, because if this doesn't record and I have to do it again, it's not going to be nearly as chipper. I'll say that. Over here we got the ratings going here. When it comes to offensive rating, Nate Schmidt is a very positive contributor on offense, and I think you see these numbers and you kind of can put together the narrative. Nate Schmidt doesn't make a lot of mistakes in the offensive zone. I think he does a terrific job keeping the puck into the blue line. He moves the puck quickly. I think he gets a lot of things going on offense when he's in. I think he moves the puck really well in all three zones. So that doesn't make... I'm not confused by that at all. Logan Cooley is the primary offensive driver for the Utah Mammoth, so it makes sense he'd be the top-rated forward in terms of offense. But we scroll down here and we kind of see some issues here. Barrett Hayton is one of the best defenders on the team, but in fact he is. He's got the highest defensive rating of anybody on the forward group or on the team. But then if you drill it down by worst, you can see he's also one of the worst offensive players on the team. The worst offensive player, and by this rating, the least effective player on the team is Brandon Tanev, which I think makes a lot of sense if you've been watching the Utah Mammoth play this season. Yes, he does lead the team in hits, but I can't think of a single Brandon Tanev offensive highlight to at all this season. And we've played 29 games. I don't think he has a point. He might have an assist. Certainly doesn't have a goal in a Utah Mammoth uniform, but he's not generating a lot of offense. He has 1 assist on the season, no goals on the year. Expected goal rating, expected goals, just 1.4. I mean, 1.84. So yeah, he's been a negative contributor when he's been on the ice. It doesn't confuse me, like I said, that he's kind of being held accountable to this. I think that was maybe who Andre Tourigny was referring to. Like, he's got to get something going. I imagine it will. I imagine, a guy like Brandon Tanev, who's been in the National Hockey League for quite a few years, probably doesn't enjoy being a healthy scratch for a December game in Anaheim. I'm sure that felt very weird to him to be in the press box. I would imagine Barrett Hayton felt that same way. Let's go back to Hayton, though, and try to understand why it is that he got the yank, got the scratch tonight. You can see here, yeah, he's while he is the best defensive player on the team, he's one of the worst offensive players on the team. And for a team that's been like really struggling to hit the back of the net, particularly in like power play situations, it kind of makes sense that he would get pulled. I think they really wanted to get a good look at Daniil Boot in this one as well. So I think they thought to themselves, hey, Boot's gonna maybe provide an offensive spark. Let's take out a couple of the guys who aren't doing it for us. Kevin Stenlund is also one of the least effective offensive players on the Mammoth, but my assumption is that he stayed in the lineup tonight to take a few faceoffs. He's one of the better faceoff guys, if not the best faceoff guy on the team. But again, I think you can look at these charts and sort of put yourself in Andre Tourigny's head a little bit when it comes to the decisions he made to sit those guys in particular tonight. And the results kind of speak for themselves. Like, Utah had an offensive explosion tonight. Like, let's just look here at the box score for this one. I thought Daniil Boot was out there making things happen. He had a couple of nice shots on net. He had one that damn near went in to put Utah up 8-0 at the end of the game. Michael Carcone was fantastic. He had a behind-the-back pass from behind the net to find Lawson Krause for a goal. That was pretty electric. Like I said, Krause scored. No points for Cooley in this one. That's kind of interesting. Dylan Gunther gets a goal and assist. He had a great goal on a breakaway. Clayton Keller finishes with a 3-point night, 1 goal, 2 assists. His goal was kind of a weird one, just hit Anaheim Ducks defender Jackson Combs' stick and found its way into the net. It was just one of those things. It just wasn't Anaheim's night. It really wasn't. And now, they can't, what time is Disneyland closed tonight? You know, it's so funny. We used to be such huge Disney nerds. What's up, guys? I've got a really exciting announcement. I'm going to interrupt the show for just a minute to let you know that we are back in biz. We are giving away a $250 gift card for every episode of SLC Puck, thanks to our good friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry. These guys are awesome. They've got some of the best stuff in the world. Some of the most incredible antique jewelry, engagement rings, stuff to get you out of trouble too, stuff to just show someone that you care and you love them. You can find it all at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers or Jonathan's Jewelry. They're upgrading their spots. They're upgrading their inventory all the time. So much great stuff. They hit up estate sales. They find all the incredible jewelry that person that you love is really going to enjoy. So make sure you get over there, enter this giveaway. It's the easiest giveaway you'll ever enter. Just scan this QR code right over here. You'll be prompted to send a text message. Hit send on that sucker, and you're entered, and we'll let you know if you're a winner of a $250 gift card. And even if you don't win, you can still benefit from this incredible partnership. Just head into either one of those locations. Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers is at Trolley Square. Jonathan's Jewelry, that's up in Cottonwood Heights. And just mention SLC Puck, and they'll knock $100 off your purchase just like that. So Big thanks to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for their support of SLC Puck and Utah hockey fans like you. Let's get back to the show. We knew when the park closed every single day of the calendar year, when we were in Anaheim and when we weren't, because we found that interesting. We would look at the wait times for the rides on our apps, be like, oh, I wish we were there. Man, the Space Mountain's only a 15-minute wait right now. Yes, I know that's odd, but yes, that's how we thought around the Facer household for quite some time. But no, they probably won't have time to get on Space Mountain tonight, the Ducks, to try to put themselves in a better mood. Other things that were just shocking in this game, a power play goal by the Utah Mammoth. What the heck? How did that happen? And it came during a power play that was like pretty broken. You know, the Ducks were in the Mammoth zone for like the first 35 seconds of this power play. Utah gets it out. They're on a 3-on-1 rush and they find the back of the net. I'm like, is that the key? Just to not set it up? Is it to lure the other team into our own zone and then pop it out and get the odd man advantage? It's a risky strategy. I don't think that was the plan, but maybe it could be. Oh, I'm getting a call right now. See, this is the life of a podcaster, guys. You get calls at all hours of the night. More JJ Peterka was the headliner tonight, of course. All over the stat sheet: 2 goals, 2 assists, a +3, 6 shots on goal, 2 that found the back of the net. Fantastic game for him. Schmaltzy found the scorecard as well with 2 assists. Like I said, Ian Cole had a great game. He was a +5 tonight. So when he was out on the ice, Utah was doing good things. He had a goal and assist as well, 2 block shots, 2 penalty minutes. Very good Ian Cole stat line. Even Sean Dursey gets an assist. Our buddy Maveric Lamoureux comes back from Tucson, makes his season debut with the Utah Mammoth, first game in a Mammoth uniform. He played a few games for the Utah Hockey Club last season. He gets an assist. And, of course, a penalty. That's a typical Mav Lam game. Marino, Schmidt, Sergachev scoreless, but they were all strong contributors in all facets of the game. Sergachev only has to play 21 minutes tonight, which is a little bit lower than his season average, I would imagine. Another big story of the game, we haven't even talked about this. Karel Vejmelka gets his first shutout of the season, I believe the 7th of his career, with 27 saves, and some of them were pretty damn big. Some of them were very impressive. He got very lucky on quite a few. I can think of one example in particular. Mason and McTavish had a wide open net and just absolutely whiffed it. Like, you know, he just like basically stubbed his heel of the stick into the ice, totally duffed it, I guess you could say, missed the puck, and that would have given Anaheim a goal. Can't connect on that, and they remain scoreless the rest of the way. I mean, just a really, really impressive performance by Utah. Again, Anaheim scoreless. Leo Carlson didn't get anything going, just 1 shot. Cutter Gauthier, just 2 shots for him. He's been pacing at like a 4 or 5 shot per night average. Mason McTavish goes 0 for 3 on his shots. Obviously, and he showed a lot of frustration. I mean, so many crazy things in this game. It was just such a great, it's going to be one of those Utah Mammoth games that'll be remembered and talked about for quite a while. Not only because of like the shocking nature of the outcome, right? 7-0, Utah wins by a touchdown and an extra point in a hockey game. I don't know if you saw this. Ross Johnston, the Anaheim Ducks, who leads the NHL in hits right now, tries to stir things up at the end of the game. Hey, Mammoth boys, you're not coming into the House of Mouse and leaving, unscathed, and not embarrassing us like this on our home ice. Tries to fight Liam O'Brien and ends up grabbing him by the back of the neck and takes quite a bit of hair with him, whipping him around. Tuna doesn't take the bait, chooses not to fight. They throw Johnston in the box for roughing. But can you imagine the imagery of him skating to the box, clutching Tuna's hair that he's ripped from his scalp in his glove? That was the only thing that was kind of missing from that game. That would have been wild. Everything else though was very, very insane. And maybe it's just a little bit of fatigue right now. Again, it's almost midnight, trying to get this up for you guys. You're welcome. Don't forget to head to the Patreon if you want to throw some coinage my way. But I'm just pretty stunned. I'm pretty taken aback. I never come into this podcast with a night, especially on a night where we record shortly after a game, with a plan per se. I'm like, hey, you're going to comment on the game. The result of the game will guide your tongue and your thoughts and your spirit and the message that you convey to your audience. And I'm just conveying a little bit of disbelief right now. It was just such a shocking game. How miserable were we in November? We were very miserable. It was bad. It was very bad. And December didn't get off to a great start. The loss to San Jose the other night felt awful. I thought the effort was really low from the team. Obviously, their head coach thought it was as well. But we're here a couple days later, and this roller coaster just gave us like another crazy turn, drop, turn, corkscrew. It's like Space Mountain. You don't know what's coming. It's like a fast-paced roller coaster like ride in the dark that has twists. My sister knows the whole thing. Again, fatigue is hitting me pretty hard right now, but very, very stunning game. We will see what happens over the next 2 games for the Utah Mammoth. They continue to hit the road. They're headed up to the Great White North. They'll finish off this road trip with a back-to-back, first playing Vancouver on Friday, and then less than 24 hours later, they're playing the Calgary Flames on Saturday. That's interesting. I didn't realize they were playing 2 games within 24 hours of each other. Puck drop for Vancouver is 7:00, and then they play the Flames the next day at 5:00. So, although they're in different time zones, I think, because Vancouver's in British Columbia and Calgary's in Alberta. I'm too tired to figure this out. I don't want to get my abacus out or my sundial and figure this out. It just seems interesting. It's less than 24 hours, I think. I think that's safe to say. I'm tired, folks. Thank you for tuning into the show. Appreciate it. What a game for the Utah Mammoth, huh? How about that? We appreciate you for joining us on another episode of SLC Puck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Please support our great sponsors. You've been seeing their logos rolling over here in the corner. Jonathan's Jewelry. They're doing an awesome promotion. Scan to win a $250 gift card. Easy peasy. Just do that. Craig Swap, one call. That's all. We love those guys. They're an institution here in Salt Lake City. BigTuskEnergy.com. Get some merch there as well. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. So appreciate it. Follow me on social media for more updates, especially on our watch party later this month. And go to bed. I'm talking to myself. And we'll talk to you later.